Today, we step inside Mar-a-Lago's sunlit corridors to explore the world Tiffany Trump keeps carefully tucked away from the public eye. Behind the palm-lined pathways and quiet ocean air, her days unfold in a rhythm of privacy, family warmth, and understated luxury. This is where America's most private heiress builds a life far different from what headlines suggest. And today, we discover what that life truly looks like. The story of Tiffany Trump begins in the warm light of West Palm Beach in 1993, a newborn held between two worlds, the glitter of her father's empire and the gentler rhythm of her mother's life. From the very beginning, her name carried a symbol, Tiffany, borrowed from the blue box jeweler beside Trump Tower, a quiet reminder of where she came from and the weight the name would someday bring. When her parents separated in 1999, the world around her shifted. Tiffany moved with her mother, Marla Maples, to California, a place far from Fifth Avenue, far from power, far from the headlines. In California, she grew up like a girl watching two lives at once, the calm days with her mother and the distant, structured world of her father in New York. It was a contrast that shaped her. Quiet on the outside, observant on the inside, learning early how to balance attention and distance. By the time she entered high school, the bright light of opportunity followed her again. She graduated from Viewpoint School in Calabasas in 2012, a place where she blended in comfortably, building the quiet confidence that would guide her later choices. When she moved east to attend the University of Pennsylvania, her father's alma mater, it felt like stepping into a life she had only seen from afar. She studied sociology, joined Kappa Alpha Theta, and spent 4 years understanding how people, communities, and structures shape behavior. It was a degree that made sense for someone raised between two worlds. During these years, Tiffany also touched the edges of creativity. At 17, she released an electronic pop track, Like a Bird. On the Oprah Winfrey Show, she explained it with softness. Music was something she loved, something she carried quietly rather than chased loudly. Later, she interned at Vogue and even walked in New York Fashion Week, not as a celebrity stunt, but as a brief step into a world she admired. Each experience was a small experiment in finding her own voice. Her public presence grew during the 2016 election, when she stepped onto the stage at the Republican National Convention. The soft-spoken daughter suddenly stood under bright lights, saying words that revealed something personal. She admired her father. She loved him. She wanted the world to see a side of him that only family could. She returned again in 2020, speaking with more certainty. Not because she wanted fame, but because family had always been her anchor. But her biggest shift came in a quiet place, a law library. In 2018, she began working as a research assistant for Georgetown law professor Sean Hopwood, a man whose own story, Prison to Professor, taught her something about redemption, discipline, and second chances. By 2020, she had earned her law degree, stepping into a path that demanded focus instead of attention, reading instead of spotlight. By the time Tiffany stepped out of Georgetown with her law degree, she had already built something far more meaningful than a resume. Each chapter, the California childhood, the quiet discipline at Penn, the careful steps through fashion and media, the demanding years of law school, shaped a woman who learned to move through the world on her own terms. Her career was never about chasing the spotlight. It was about choosing growth, knowledge, and the kind of independence that does not need applause to be real. And now, with that foundation behind her, we step into the place where her life truly unfolds, the quiet, sunlit world she keeps at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago Legacy, the estate that defined Tiffany Trump's early world. From the moment you step through the pink-tinted arches of Mar-a-Lago, you understand why this estate is more than a landmark. It is the place Tiffany Trump once called home. Built in 1927 and stretching across Palm Beach with its signature Mediterranean revival style, the mansion feels like a private world. Red tile roofs glowing in the sun, carved stone doors, and long breezeways opening to the ocean on one side and the intracoastal waterway on the other. For Tiffany, this wasn't just a historic estate, it was her childhood backdrop. She spent her earliest years moving through these vast, gold-trimmed halls with her parents, Donald Trump and Marla Maples. The house's famously ornate interiors, hand-painted ceilings, Spanish tiles from the 15th century, mirrored salons and golden angels carved into the doorways, became the first visual language she grew up with. Every corridor offered a different world, from the oak-paneled library filled with rare books to the grand living rooms lit by towering chandeliers. Outside, the 20-acre grounds stretched like a private playground. The subtropical gardens designed by Lewis and Valentine, the 9-hole golf course, and the long terraces facing the Atlantic made the estate feel endless. Tiffany's childhood photos, smiling beside her parents under the arched walkways, are reminders of how deeply Mar-a-Lago shaped her early life. Even decades later, Mar-a-Lago remained her most personal connection. When Tiffany and Michael Boulos chose a wedding venue, she returned here, not for extravagance, but because this is her childhood home and the place where she was born, as Marla Maples shared. Surrounded by her siblings Ivanka, Don Jr., Eric, and Barron, Tiffany walked through the same stone paths she once played on as a little girl. On her wedding day, the estate transformed into a glowing scene. The gardens lit softly, the historic ballroom shining with its gilded ceiling, and the Atlantic breeze moving through the palm trees. It was a full-circle moment, from childhood to adulthood, all within the same iconic walls. Today, Mar-a-Lago continues to be known for politics, history, and national attention. But for Tiffany, the story is quieter and far more intimate. It will always be the place where her life began, where family gathered, and where some of her most meaningful milestones unfolded. And while Mar-a-Lago shaped her earliest memories, another home in New York would define the next chapter. The gleaming Trump Tower penthouse where Tiffany stepped into the world of Manhattan's high-rise life. Trump Tower Penthouse, the gilded Manhattan world. Tiffany Trump once called home. Long before Tiffany Trump entered Manhattan's elite, she spent her formative years living in one of the most famous and lavish apartments in America, the Trump Tower penthouse on Fifth Avenue. This is where she spent most of her time from birth to age 4, a space where every corner could identify the Trump family's stamp of power and personality. The penthouse apartment sits atop the 58-story tower, spanning nearly 11,000 square feet, a unique space in the heart of Manhattan. Step inside and everything immediately feels like a Mao. Gilded ceilings, marble columns, stark-architected vaults, and Louis XIV-style details that Donald Trump fell in love with after seeing in the penthouse of wealthy tycoon Adnan Khashoggi. The light reflected off the gold, marble, and crystal chandeliers makes the house look like a palace suspended in the New York skyline. The living room is expansive with floor-to-ceiling glass walls, overlooking Central Park and the representative lights below. Cream sofas, onyx tables, classic busts, and Italian marble floors create a space that is both luxurious and a personal art gallery. This is where Tiffany played as a child while her parents entertained guests, hosted events, and attended family photo shoots. The kitchen and dining room are Italian royal style with marble backsplash, carved wood cabinets, and a gold-plated dining table. Family meals, big and small, take place in a room that feels like an old European hall, a style that Donald Trump has always pursued in any of his large properties. The master bedroom is almost as large as a normal apartment, with a soft, gold-leafed canopy bed, Baroque murals, and a balcony overlooking the city. The other bedroom is also in a palette of pink, cream, gold, and marble, creating a uniformity in design, all bearing the Manhattan royalty that Trump Tower was once famous for. The long hallway is paved with white stone, each step of gold gently under the high, decorative ceiling. Artworks, family photos, and collectibles are carefully preserved in display cabinets. For Tiffany, this is more than just a place to live. It is a completely different environment, a palace in the clouds, where every wall and every object is pointed with a sense of power and distance. Although Tiffany later moved to California with her mother when her parents divorced, she often returned to the penthouse whenever she visited New York to see her father. For her, the home was not only a place of childhood, but also a place that reflected the interesting juxtaposition between the tranquility of California and the extravagance of Manhattan. The Trump Tower penthouse became a key part of Tiffany's journey growing up, where she learned to appear at big events, attend New York Fashion Week night parties, and blend into the Manhattan elite from a very young age. It was here that all the lights, cameras, attention, and expectations began to surround her, a foundation that defined the path Tiffany Trump took today. But Tiffany's connection to Manhattan didn't stop there. As she grew older, another residence began to shape her New York life, her most luxurious apartment on the Upper East Side. Most luxurious New York apartment. Before stepping fully into public life, Tiffany Trump spent a period living quietly in one of the Upper East Side's most exclusive addresses, an apartment inside Trump Plaza at 167 East 61st Street. It was the kind of place where the city feels close, but the noise stays far away. The building itself already sets the mood. You walk in and are greeted by a tall waterfall flowing down 2 floors, a marble lobby where the light reflects softly, and a doorman who seems to know every resident by name. The gym, the private garden, the quiet hallways, everything makes the space feel like a calm corner in the middle of Manhattan. Inside her apartment, the rooms had that polished New York look. Parquet wood floors, tall windows stretching from the floor all the way up, and a kitchen lined with marble counters and high-end appliances. The layout was simple but elegant, exactly the kind of place a young woman balancing school, friendships, and city life will settle into. Tiffany shared small glimpses of this home on Instagram over the years. One time, she posted a photo taken right from her living room, standing beside artist Mr. Bling Columbia with a Swarovski crystal portrait hanging behind them. It revealed a bit of her taste, bright, shiny, a little playful, and unmistakably Trump. And the place that gives her the most relaxing feeling is the balcony. There's another picture she posted in 2016, standing on that balcony with the Upper East Side skyline behind her, the gold railing catching the morning light. It was one of those small moments that showed how easily she blended quiet simplicity with the world of luxury around her. The primary bedroom opened right onto that balcony, making it easy for her to step outside whenever she wanted to breathe in the city. Even the bathroom had small touches of luxury. Clean white surfaces, simple lines, and sparkling gold handles, just enough to remind her of home. Whenever Tiffany returned to New York during college, this apartment became her base, the place where she slept after long days in class, met friends before nights out, and took photos with her close-knit circle of wealthy young New Yorkers. Many of those friendships, with Gaia Jacquet Matisse, E.J. Johnson, Kira Kennedy, and others, were captured in the few moments she shared online, often with this apartment as the backdrop. For Tiffany, this wasn't just a place to stay. It was where she learned how to balance privacy and attention, where she felt grounded in a city full of noise, and where she lived some of her most carefree New York years. And just like her homes, her cars also reflect the different chapters of her life, elegant, practical, and always tied to the people she keeps close. Car collection. The Audi S5 was one of the first cars that truly fit Tiffany Trump's young, fast-paced life. She chose it during her university years, a moment when she wanted something stylish but strong, something that made her feel independent. She took her first real drive straight from the dealership, a quiet stretch of road in New York, with a close friend riding beside her and the excitement of freedom in front of her. Its 3.0-liter supercharged V6, producing around 333 horsepower, delivered a smooth but confident pull, the kind that makes the road feel lighter. Today, its value sits around $40,000, but for Tiffany, it was the car that marked the beginning of driving on her own terms. And the Land Rover Range Rover came later, when her life moved into a more public space. She chose it for the same reason many choose this model: comfort, height, and the quiet privacy it gives on busy streets. The first time she used it regularly was in Washington, D.C., during her time at Georgetown Law, often riding with classmates after long study sessions. Worth around $90,000 depending on the trim, the Range Rover became her everyday shield. A calm, quiet space between public events and private life. The last car, and the one she uses most often today, is the GMC Yukon XL. It entered her world through family life, becoming the vehicle she relied on during events at Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach, often riding with relatives, security, and people she trusted. Its massive frame, 6.2-liter V8 engine, and more than 420 horsepower give her the stability needed for long trips, airport pickups, and moments when the whole family moves together. Worth around $90,000 today, it may not be flashy, but it fits the rhythm of her current life. Grounded, secure, and centered on the people she cares about. These cars reflect different chapters of Tiffany Trump's journey: independence, confidence, and family. Each one carrying its own sound and its own place in the lifestyle she lives today. And now, let us explore the financial foundation that supports her quiet, steady lifestyle. Income and net worth. Tiffany Trump's money story is not the dramatic rise people expect. It is measured, thoughtful, shaped by trust funds, education, and the careful way she built her adult life. Her $20 million net worth tells a story not of excess, but of structure. The kind of wealth that grows slowly and securely. Her earliest income never came from a job. It came from trust funds, small investment accounts opened when she was young, and long-term financial planning handled quietly by her parents. Even while she lived a simple life in California with her mother, these investments continued to grow in the background. Stocks, bonds, and portions of family holdings that accumulated value year after year. As she stepped into adulthood, her financial path widened. During her college years, Tiffany took small but meaningful steps into public life: a Vogue internship, a New York Fashion Week runway appearance, and even releasing her electronic single, Like a Bird. These projects did not make her rich, but they gave her early income, modest commissions, and small licensing checks that introduced her to the idea of earning independently. Real growth came when she began working in the legal field. At Georgetown Law, she earned a position as a research assistant for Professor Sean Hopwood, a job that provided her first structured salary. It was not a large number, but it marked the beginning of her professional income. More importantly, it prepared her for the stability and career control she wanted later. Alongside this, Tiffany's public presence during the 2016 and 2020 presidential campaigns added a different type of financial value: appearance fees, image rights, event stipends, and long-term brand visibility. These were not flashy celebrity deals, but they strengthened her financial base and expanded the opportunities available to her after law school. Her marriage to businessman Michael Boulos also connected her to a powerful global business family, a network tied to ventures in Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. While Tiffany earns independently, this marriage adds new opportunities for investments, partnerships, and future business ventures that will likely grow her net worth far beyond its current level. What truly supports her fortune today, however, is a combination of inheritance and long-term investments. Portions of Trump family real estate, from licensing revenue to asset growth, continue to contribute stable value. She also benefits indirectly from the financial security that comes with being part of a high-profile business family, allowing her to make choices without pressure. In the end, Tiffany's fortune is not loud or dramatic. It is steady, planned, and built to last. Every piece of her wealth fits the quiet, structured life she chooses today, a life shaped more by stability than by spotlight. Now, let us look at how she uses that stability to support meaningful causes. Philanthropy. One of her most consistent efforts has been supporting education access. In the past few years, Tiffany has contributed more than $150,000 to digital learning programs for underserved students. Through small nonprofit groups in Washington, D.C., she helped fund laptops, tutoring sessions, and after-school support for families who could not afford those resources. She has also been involved in women's legal empowerment, a cause shaped by her years at Georgetown Law. Tiffany has donated over $500,000 to legal aid organizations that support young women facing financial or family-related legal challenges. Her compassion extends across borders as well. Together with Michael Boulos's Family Foundation, she has quietly supported medical care initiatives in Lebanon and Nigeria, contributing more than $200,000 to children's clinics and community health programs. In Palm Beach, Tiffany continues the quieter traditions of her mother. She donates clothing, baby essentials, and household supplies to women's shelters around the area. Small acts, but done consistently. All of these efforts show the quiet way Tiffany uses her resources. Not loudly, but with intention and consistency. And from that same gentle spirit, her personal life today unfolds with the same sense of balance and calm. Personal life. These days, Tiffany Trump lives a quieter, more grounded life than the glamorous image people attach to her name. Most of her time is spent in New York and Palm Beach, moving between work, family, and the circle of friends she has kept close for years. What defines her life now is stability, a routine built around marriage, motherhood, and a small network of people she trusts. Her relationship with Michael Boulos has become the center of her world. Since welcoming their son in May 2025, Tiffany's days have taken on a softer pace. She spends much of her time with her baby, handling his routines, planning family schedules, and making sure he grows up with a sense of calm despite the attention that follows the Trump name. Michael's work often takes him across different cities, but he always returns to Palm Beach or New York to be with Tiffany and their son, keeping family time as a priority. Tiffany stays connected to a small group of close friends, many of whom she has known for years from school and social circles. She still keeps up with people like Gaia Jacques Matisse, Kira Kennedy, and E.J. Johnson, but the outings are quieter now. Dinners at home, small gatherings, or visiting friends when schedules line up. Her social media shows less of the party scenes and more of simple, curated moments that reflect the life she prefers today. Her daily routine is structured around balance. She spends time reading, reviewing legal materials, helping with charity planning, and managing personal projects. She takes walks around her neighborhood, schedules family activities, and keeps her days organized so she can stay present for her son. Most of her recent travels are family-related, trips to Palm Beach to visit her mother, visits to see Michael's relatives, or short getaways that allow her to disconnect from public attention. Tiffany's lifestyle now is defined by privacy, routine, and family. She chooses quiet spaces, close relationships, and a pace that gives her room to breathe. Away from the noise, she has built a life that feels steady and intentional. A life centered on the people she loves and the future she is shaping with them. If this glimpse into Tiffany's quiet life left you wanting more truth, more closeness, then make sure you stay with us. Every week, we open another door into the lives of figures the world thinks it knows. Tap like, subscribe, and follow so you can step into the next story with us.